And today he is a destroyed man. So I would say that that is something we have to imbibe slowly. But today, black money is a cancer. And that cancer has to be, we have to amputate that, the cancerous part of our body system. And we can find ways to do it. We can create an environment where people don't feel that they should be corrupt. And finally, we can develop social values, spiritual values in such a way that you will automatically be an honest person. That is the kind of society we were, and that's what we want to build. This is how to fight black money. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the entire IIM-B fraternity, we'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Subramanian Swamy for his enlightening talk. We'd now like to open the floor for questions, please.
We will request, preference will be to our students first, please. Then the senior citizens and others, right? None of our student is a senior citizen, I am convinced. Compared to JNU or FTI. Identify yourself and then we'll come later to that, please. Yeah.
From IIM-B, so really sorry for that. So sir, what's your take on this recent, like you talked about our spiritual values, especially on honesty, but there have been a continuously target by leftist intellectuals to tarnish that image and like we need to go out of this, but actually we need to go back to what we left out. So what's your take on that, sir?
I'll take one by one. Well, I think you shouldn't pay too much attention to that because there has been a material change in the dispensation of power. For the first time, a party which has not professed the kind of liberality or modernity by leftist definition, that has come to power. And they don't want it to succeed. It's understandable. They want to destabilize it. So all these things you hear there, but the undercurrent, I'm telling you, I've traveled the length and breadth of this country, the undercurrent is the young people of India, educated and those who are semi-educated, they are developed a tremendous patriotic fervor, and therefore we need to address them, their needs, educational, rather than bother about these demonstrations. These demonstrations will come and go. FTAII had big demonstrations. We took a tough line. They all gone back to the classroom. Hyderabad, we did the same thing. They gone back to the classroom. JNU, we need to deep fumigate very soon. That has been an extreme case. So I don't think that we have a major challenge in it. There are issues which people do, like for instance the Jat agitation, because they are that community is a fighter community, and so we have to handle them with great care. But as far as students is concerned, intellectuals are concerned, they have no argument. Therefore, if you notice through the media, they propagate those amongst us who speak in a crude language. They will never debate with me. When I've asked many of the intellectuals to debate with me, they won't come. They said, no, we won't debate with you because you are too hard-boiled and therefore we find it difficult to debate with you. Of course, I am hard-boiled, and that's the fact is that they are not able to answer my arguments. So I don't think, therefore, you should bother too much about it. My take on it is ignore it.
Sir, I am Himadri, I am from Infosys. I have a question.
No, but students.
Yeah, students.
Okay.
Are you a student? No. Yeah. Identify yourself.
I'm Costa. My question is,
Identify yourself.
I'm Costa of PGP1 of IIM Bangalore. My question is that, sir, when you talk about tracking the people who have black money abroad, or the big people, don't you think that all this will be through some third party or some agents who are citizens of some other countries? How do you backtrack them to these big people and or the leaders? When you talk about the names and
No, I think you've got a wrong idea. You don't know our enforcement directorate. It's got some of the finest officers, and we don't need any foreign support, except that where, for example, you have to issue a letter rogatory. We have a system where you go to the Indian court and say, please appeal to the court of that country to assist us. And that's called a letter rogatory. And that letter rogatory is delivered to the court of that country, and then that court then summons the government officials and say, hand it over. That is the only extent to which we need to use foreigners. We have a very fine team. They need encouragement. Many of them, when Mr. Chidambaram was finance minister, tried to remove them and post them. But I went to the Supreme Court and got them reinstated. And today, I don't know whether any of you remember, recently Mr. Chidambaram said that, why take it out on my son, take it out on me? There's one officer who is hell-bent on doing harm to me. That's nonsense. That officer was top in the UPSC exam, and Mr. Chidambaram removed him, and I got him reinstated in the enforcement directorate. They are really fine people. I have no doubt. You give them the green signal, go and get it, they will get it for you.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Please identify yourself.
My name is Abhilash from PGP. Business on the reservation, it's like Blackmoney has been sort of spreading state after state to asking for
Reservation. That's got nothing to do with black money.
Yeah, there is one more thing.
Dimension.
Not very possible. So what do you feel about it? What's your stance on that?
You call me again for a lecture on this. Part of your extracurricular activity. Yes, student?
Yes, sir. This is Tanravika from IIM-B. Sir, you said about abolition of income tax.
That's right.
Completely. But don't you think that already we are suffering from such a high liquidity problem? Inflation is going up, and somehow it is managed. But complete stoppage of income tax won't it lead to a lot of capital flow and cash flow and cause deep inflation? Because whenever there is little bit of tax relaxation, the consumer expenses go up.
This is according to your own study or your... India, household savings as a proportion of total savings in the country is, I think, 82-83%, 85%. United States -2%, because everything is on credit in America. China 13%. In the whole world, the Indian households save the maximum, and they are suffering the most. If you like, we can abolish income tax and say that the money that you will be saving, you must put it in a 3-year deposit in which we will give you 10% interest rate. Then I can tell you people will willingly put that money in a fixed deposit for the future. So don't treat our households as people who get the money and then they'll spend it. They are not like that. The Indian people are not like that. They are very, very conservative in the way they spend. They save for their children, which you will not find so much in foreign countries. This is one of the values where parents will go to great length to see their children get the best education. So if they get this money, they will put it in the bank, and if you give them an incentive that will give you 10% for it, but after 3 years, then they will definitely save it, and that will be available for your investment, and investment will go up in the country.
Sir?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Nagaraj from IIM-B 36.
Just one second.
Yes.
Yeah, this is here.
So I have a question for you. So I had worked on a project on banking frauds in India for 3 to 4 months, and even you had mentioned in your speech here that chartered accountants are the ones who are into making sure that frauds happen. They are the ones who are
Not frauds. They make frauds look like decent work.
So even we interviewed a lot of people in the public sector banks as well as in companies, and everybody got back to rating agencies, chartered accountants. Why do you think? What do you think is the reason that they always get away from the blame?
No, the problem comes from the top. If you have honest politicians, I'm telling you, the whole country by example will become honest. That is the real issue in the country. It's no use blaming. When the police constable tells me my SP is telling me I have to give the politician so much money, so go and threaten somebody that I'll arrest you, and if you give me 50,000 rupees, I will not arrest you. These things are all, this is a chain problem. You break the chain at the top, and you see that people become honest. I think we need to understand that this country is not intrinsically dishonest. I've seen it in the time of the 1962 war. I've seen it in many other occasions when the country has crisis. People have come out and even given their gold bangles and gold necklaces as part of the defense fund. There's an innate patriotism in this country, and therefore all they need is a confidence that this money is going to be used for the constructive purposes of the country. That is not true. I'm questioning Sonia Gandhi to Delhi.
Identify yourself.
Sir, I'm Nagaraj from IIM-B 36.
Yes.
Why did the institution of Lokayukta fail? And what's the method of...
Got the wrong kind of people as Lokayukta. That is the problem. And there's nothing more. It's a good institution, but some of them will be very subjective. They are appointed by politicians, and then they become grateful to those politicians, and therefore they don't do their work. The main thing is these institutions will only work when there's public awareness. Corruption is top priority, and it must be fought.
Sir?
So what?
I'm Gordon from IIM-B. Sir, what are the steps that we need to take for getting the black money that's there within India? We are taking steps.
Abolish income tax, lower interest rates, abolish forward trading, prosecute a few people in the real estate industry. All this will remove black money from within the country. Much of the black money started because of high income tax rates. Some crazy character from England came called Nicholas Caldor and convinced them to put consumption tax. How do you estimate consumption? And therefore all kinds of fraud took place. The black money problem started with that. Then this crazy model of Soviet economic model we had, where licenses and quotas. The privileged got their licenses and quotas, they went to the black market and sold it to other people who needed it. And then a bunch of touts emerged in the picture. And the day Narasimha Rao removed all these controls and licenses, you saw how the growth rate boosted up from 3.5% to 8%. So I don't think it is so. And all these lefties, they are now hiding behind the fact that the Soviet Union, which was their great heaven, has completely failed. Nambudiri Pal, who was a Marxist leader, used to tell me, there is no inflation in Soviet Union, there is no unemployment in Soviet Union, there is no poverty in Soviet Union. One day I told him there is no Soviet Union also. So, therefore, I am telling you, this country can only progress by incentives, no compulsions. When people work hard, they must get their due share of their money. They shouldn't be harassed when it comes to paying income tax. I can't now say, no, there will be no harassment because the system is so corrupted. So abolish it. How much do you lose in revenue? 2 lakh crores. One spectrum auction gave you how much this time? 4 lakh crores. and next year you will have 3G, you will get another 4 lakh crores. Then when 4G comes, you will see that you will get 12 lakh crores. If you option the coal blocks, you will get 11 lakh crores. If you bring back money from abroad, you will get 120 lakh crores. There is no shortage of money in this country. It just requires people to know how to get it for the sake of the country.
Sir,
1 minute.
No, 1 minute.
This lady here.
Oh yeah, sir, you just mentioned that Indian households constitute some 86% of the total savings. But actually, most of the savings are in the form of gold.
No.
But non-value creating assets.
Please tell me what is the fraction in financial assets? The household savings in financial assets. 45%, not small, that's enough for me. So 45%, not most of it.
Incidentally, gold is not included in your saving rate.
That's
it as consumption.
Yeah, that's right.
Gold, our saving rate is much higher.
Much higher. Okay, no, there's no question. This money is increasingly now people are keeping money in bank. You raise the term deposit rate to 9%, you see how much people will start saving. Incentive.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. I'm Arvind, I'm a student of Executive Postgraduate Program. Sir, do you think the National Herald case actually points to a larger problem where we're not sure of how the funding happens in these political parties in terms of who is donating below 20,000 rupees? And second, we don't have, it is not under the ambit of RTI. So probably Subramanian Swamy can check it out as to what is going on in these parties, but a normal person cannot. So is that the larger systemic problem in these parties?
Yeah, I think these are curable problems. So I do think that the accounts of political parties should be brought under RTI, because after all, public is giving money, they should know how it is being utilized, and it's only a matter of time that will happen. I agree with you that the financing of political parties, there's a lot of darkness in that, and it needs to be clarified. And we have to take steps on that. That part, I mean, all problems can't be solved at the same time. I would like to start with those problems which have a filter down effect, and then we'll get to this problem.
Yeah, here.
Sir, I'm Vivek, a BGO student. So you made a comment regarding the ordinance for nationalization of bank accounts, and you pointed out that Jaitley sir is having some...
Yeah, he's opposed to it.
So can you tell us what the stand from the Finance Ministry is?
Finance Ministry says they are thinking more in terms of people being caught and then put punitive tax on them. They are working on that principle.
Ideological difference in the whole...
There's no ideological difference. This has to be done. Either he does it or he's out.
I'm Srividya. I would want to ask you, what is the message for all of us here in terms of our action item? While we talk all the big people, what they do, what should we all do?
All you at your level should first be very hopeful over the future. Because this country has got huge potential. We have the youngest population in the world, 26 average age. China is 35, America is 37, Europe is 46, Japan is 50. This young population is the one that will do the innovations, provided you give them a good education and motivate them and make them risk takers. We are all risk averters. We don't want to take risk at all. People in IIMs, I asked them, at least not here, but I asked in Ahmedabad, after all this hard work, competitive exams, etc., and you get your MBA, what are you going to do? He says, I've done a nice job. I say, why not you start your own company? Very few people say yes. They say, no, we want, we'll join Morgan Stanley or something, like that. Get a good job every year, increment in your salary. And when I tell them that Bill Gates could earn billions of dollars by, in fact, dropping out of Harvard, you have to take risk. Why you want this guaranteed poverty? He said, it is guaranteed. Even poverty, if it is guaranteed, people are happy. Because we are all risk averters. So be dynamic and have great faith in the future of this country. This is a huge potential country with a huge potential. Once upon a time, the world's leading power. Today, it has got the potential to become a leading power. And never be pessimistic. Read the Bhagavad Gita. You have only freedom of action. The reward for it is not in your hands.
I am Shubhankar Vajpayee, student from IIM-B University. I want to ask you that the reports are coming of public sector banks that they are going through losses.
Yeah,
so
collapse.
Yeah, there will be a collapse. So when are you going to go after them?
First of all, if you want me to tell you how to cure this, send Raghuram Rajan back to Chicago. He had the temerity to tell some of us that to control inflation I have to raise interest rates. Now interest rates are making capital starvation for small and medium industries. So when I was told that this is what Raghuram Rajan says, I told that person, this is like telling, a doctor telling the only way to bring down temperature of a patient is to kill him. The same thing. So first thing I would do is that. Second thing is, most of the problems of our banks have arisen because of the reckless toleration of the NPA. They have given loans on political pressure, and they have now been also forced to save a certain amount for the Reserve Bank, or called CRR and blah blah, etc. And therefore we need to make it a much more target or goal oriented system. And we have just nationalized it and then filled it with all these labor unions which don't allow you even to computerize the records. So there are many problems. But if it collapses, then what? Well, I welcome a crisis in India. When we had a food crisis, you got green revolution. When we had foreign exchange crisis, you got economic reform. Let there be a banking crisis, because the Indians know how to respond to a crisis, never to the normality of a situation.
Identify yourself. Yes, I am ex-IIM-B. So my question is, sir, you mentioned May twice in your speech, after May. So are you going to be the next finance minister?
We give heart attacks to people the moment this is not public. No, I mean that, you see, we will be completing 2 years in May. And that time the party is bound to take a stock. Are we doing enough for, or have we to do what have we to do for the next 3 years? So at that time, major changes can take place, and in my opinion will take place. In what form and so on. Who's to be minister and all is the Prime Minister's prerogative. I'm not being concerned. I've been a minister twice. There's no charm in being a minister unless you get power. And I don't want to be a minister for food processing or something like that. So let's wait, but I'm telling you, the internal corrective system of the BJP is by far the best. No one is above questioning in our party. It's unlike other parties. And our panels and systems, the parliamentary party, all these things, they function. But when in the beginning we thought for 2 years we should not exert pressure on the government and the people in power to do this and not this, but after 2 years it becomes a legitimate period for us to have a review, and out of the review will come change.
So yes.
The last one from the right.
So you mentioned the Hawala system, which is quite unique to India.
Yeah.
So how can we actually clamp down on that? And
How can we clamp down?
what would be the impact of a sudden clamp?
Can you identify your...
Oh, sorry. I'm Bruna. I'm part of the IIM-B.
Right. Well, I know that the government of India and the Intelligence Bureau and RAW knows all the Hawala agents operating out of India by name. All you have to do is arrest them. And the Hawala matter is all over. What will be the impact? A lot of politicians will commit suicide. It will mean the money will stop going out. And the rupee rate will come down vis-a-vis the dollar. And Mr. Dawood Ibrahim will be very unhappy. And many politicians here, he will threaten them. That sort of thing, nothing. But if you want to do it, if you are a government which means business, this has to be done. And I would certainly recommend that after abolishing income tax, after the growth rate starts moving up, after the rate of savings moves up, the first thing we should do is catch all these Hawala operators and put them in jail for some time, and under the National Security Act, and then after that you will never have the problem of black money.
Sir, can I have one question, please?
No. I think because he has to...
The chance was given only to students, sir. Outside the students, fraternity, one question,
You
sir.
have got not distributing to the BPL people, then whatever your message you have given to this many people, you should have propagated to the poorest of the poor people.
Sir, I have one question which is from outside the students,
I
sir.
have committed to send him back, okay?
One-
I can't allow him to stay here tonight.
One quick question, sir.
Tomorrow morning he has got Supreme Court to attend. 9 o'clock. Madam,
Thank you so much.
Please.
On behalf of the IIM-B community and all the students as part of this course and from outside as well, thank you so much for your views.